And on the front page of the Daily Nation in Kenya, of course, it's politics. Like we said, lots of conversations around politics, politics around the continent. President Ruto would lead us to his side, boosting his chances in race. Raila men whose gambles paid off. You can see in Canaan, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, House Speakers Moses Wellangula and Emerson Kingi, and Foreign Affairs CS Alfred Mutua were among opposition chief Raila Odinga's key lieutenants in the run-up to the August polls, and then they switched sides and are now sitting at President Ruto's high table. What is the moral of the story? There are no permanent enemies, just permanent interests, or something in that line. New governors failed to deliver 100-day pledges. That's still on the front page. They came, they promised, they failed to deliver. The scorecard for the country's newest governors for the first 100 days in office has returned a damning verdict, and the overwhelming evidence is a slew of broken pledges. Still on the front page, national news, taxpayers losing 4.1 million shillings daily in repaying 6.7 billion shillings NCPB overdraft. Mastermind of Mulot SIM swap syndicate ran for MCA in August. Still on the front page this morning, the D-Day for Kawira as senators decide fate. The Senate committee investigating impeachment charges against Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza will today table its findings before the House. The question is, will the senators send her home or let her off the hook? The details of the stories on page 4. The key issues in this case are: number one, appointment of her husband, Mr. Muraga Biachu, as hustler ambassador in Meru County. 2, roadside appointment of staff in Nkubu, Kianju, and Timau to work in the Okolia firefighting programs. Now, there are other key issues, 3, 4, 5, and 6 listed here, but we won't go into that. If you'd like to find out what these stories are about, get yourself a copy of the Daily Nation in Kenya. Let's head over to Tanzania and check out the front page of the Citizen newspaper.
And looking at the front page of the Citizen newspaper this morning on a Friday, well, you have that big header there, TCRA's grand plan to bridge digital divide. The head of the Communications Regulatory Authority outlines measures being taken to increase internet penetration and also addresses claims of heavy-handedness in its oversight role. The interviews on page 2 seems to be pretty much a big interview. That's why it's gotten a hug of the front page there. So you might want to go read up. You would get all the latest details concerning technology. The Citizens has everything covered. We also have more reports, business reports, why ZBAR foreign exchange earnings have dropped. You want to read about that? It's inside on page 8. Also on page 12, the Beat review, the most memorable pop culture moments of 2022. I like the fact that they're also having their
review,
memorable time and review retrospects, name them. And one of the things they're doing as well is that front page, they have Will Smith slapping.
Oh my goodness, that thing is never going to go away, is it?
I dare you not to have that as one of your reviews for 2022 in entertainment. Most importantly, international conflict, Russia targets Ukraine with fresh missile barrage or barrage, difference in French and English. So page 17 has that story. Subjecting inmates to compulsory HIV tests is unlawful, court rules. Subjecting inmates to compulsory HIV tests is unlawful. Well, read all about that. And lastly, how Samia drove economic diplomacy agenda in 2022. Also reviewing what she's done. I must say she's done fantastically well, and hopefully she gets to do more.
I'm excited about that, of course, because because she's a woman.
No. I mean,
we look forward to seeing more female leaders in Africa. We don't have a lot of that. But you would agree with that, Joe. We don't have a lot of female leaders in Africa.
No, I agree. We don't have a lot. We don't have a lot.
We need to ensure that more women come to the front burner.
I think if they're willing to serve, the space is there, the opportunity is there.
I do agree that also women need to step up. Nobody's going to hand it over to you. You should step up and fight for what you want. Anyway, let's take the conversation to Nigeria. The front, of course, we're broadcasting live from Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, and the front page of the Punch newspaper says, I was going to say, let's punch you with the punch, but we do not endorse violence on Breakfast Central. PDP crisis. Aggrieved governors may endorse Obasanjo's candidate on the 5th of January. Governors at London meeting vow to take back Southern presidency. Name your preferred candidates. Name your preferred presidential candidate. PDP dares angry governors. Good luck to Atiku if he thinks he can win without us. And that's according to Bode George. So, yeah, that's some of the stories. All right, we'll just look at that. It says aggrieved PDP governors demand support in 5 states. That's the big story there. And of course, PDP concerned about political careers seek assurance from Tinubu. Ex-Lagos governors to brief party. Akeredolu insists Southerner must succeed Buhari. G5 governors visit Ekweremadu in prison, return from UK today. Oh, I feel bad for Ekweremadu.
Oh yeah,
I feel really bad for him. I mean, there's no way to go about this. Anyway, still on the front page, Abuja court bars DSS others from arresting Emefiele. Wow. Killer cop suspended. NBA demands 5 billion naira compensation.
Ooh.
It's good for them. In fact, they should double it. Because to be honest, it's just sad. Really, it's just sad because no amount of money can bring back her life. But that's the first step. 5 billion naira compensation for her family. Deaths. Telco seek NCC approval to disconnect banks. Ooh, wow.
Wow.
Covid-19 surge. Federal government rules out restricting travelers from China. That is to say, brace yourself, wear your face mask again, build up your immune system with vitamin C and vegetables because people are going to keep coming from China. The federal government is ruling that out. It's not happening that they're barring people from coming in from China. Ajaokuta Steel Project, 500,000 jobs, $1.6 billion annual revenue. Final story, world mourns as Pele dies at 82. That's all the story we can take this morning on the front page of The Punch.
All right, let's go straight to another one this time. Our very last paper, Daily Sun. That's what we're going to this morning. Still in Nigeria, rain of tears for Obiozo as Abechi's burial holds February 16. Jonathan, Atiku, Kalu, Tinubu, Obi, Okowa, Nwosu, others pay tribute to late Ohaneze. President, pages 8 and 26 has all that story. Bandits kill 20 in Bauchi communities. Residents flee. It's been consistent back-to-back ever since the Yuletide season made its presence known or felt, especially with the change of weather. The killings did not stop, even though there were changes from here and there. In Bauchi, for instance, 20 people have definitely been killed and residents have fled. This calls for a quick reaction, especially from the government. I'm not perturbed by G5 governor's plots. Atiku speaks. So he isn't worried. He says they can go ahead and do what they need to do. Don't forget, as PDP says, no decision yet on sanction against Wike and others. But it's likely that Wike is drawing attention to getting sanctioned, because you cannot be in a party and yet endorse another person from another party or actually tilt. It's either you're in or you are out. President Muhammadu Buhari right in the picture there, assisted by little Ebira girl and Governor Yahaya Bello on the left, as the president commissions the new palace of Ihionoyi of Ebira Land, Okene, Kogi State yesterday. That was a picture. That's a picture you find there. And we'll take some more. Omobolale killing. Police will work with Lagos Attorney General to prosecute culprits, it says, with an S. I wonder. The other two I heard they've been released. But if they're culprits, who's the next? Or they're looking at bringing the other case that we talked about yesterday.
Yeah, the young man.
The young man who was equally killed from the same police station. Anyway, page 4. NBA demands 5 billion naira compensation as Sanwo-Olu pledges no cover-up. 4 fear dead in Kogi explosion as Buhari visits. I'll pursue Ajaokuta still issues to conclusion before leaving office. He promises. Page 8 has that story. Ekiti Election Tribunal oppose Oyebanji's victory. Page 8 as well. Governor woos appointments. Fayemi Adebayo Hall verdict. And lastly, alleged terrorism. More dramas. Court bars DSS IGP from arresting Emefiele. So this Emefiele story is still ongoing. Well, we'll bring you more updates as we proceed in the course of the program. In the meantime, do not forget, if you're just tuning in, this is Breakfast Central, the very last for 2022. I'm grinning. It's all smiles because it feels really good to be here, especially having been here all through the year. 360 what?
5 days. It's not a leap year. You said you're grinning. You're grinning today.
It's not a leap year.
Yeah. 365 days make one
I know
year.
where you're going to.
You say you're greening, but you're
I
not
know
wearing
where you're
green.
going to with that question as well. You are greening, but I'm wearing green.
You're not wearing green, but you're greening.
It's okay. It's
Don't
okay.
leave me.
Africa. What's up? Small. Yeah. All right.